it's Bailey from Glowforge. This week we're streaming one of my absolute favorite streams, creating a custom wedding with Glowforge. And I'm a bit biased because in it I get to show off a bunch of the decor I made for my own wedding back in late 2019 with my Glowforge. I did want to mention that we filmed this before the Glowforge Aura launched, so you'll mostly hear us talk about working with the Glowforge Pro, which is the machine I have at home. Of course, you can also make lots of great event and wedding decor and other things with the Glowforge Aura, but do keep in mind that you'll be confined to a smaller bed size, so you won't be able to make some of those giant signs, and that you won't be able to engrave on clear acrylic like we show on today's stream. But of course, you can use wood and leather, lots of other things. If you're ready to grab a Glowforge of your own for wedding decor or anything else, right now Glowforge Pro is $1,000 off, Glowforge Plus is $500 off, and Glowforge Aura is only $9.99 on glowforge.com. This is a limited time deal, so start your 2024 off strong with a Glowforge and enjoy the stream. See ya! And we're trying some different themes, so we'd love for you, if you're popping in today, to tell us like if you already have a Glowforge, if you're thinking about getting one, what you make, where you're watching from. We just want to know who's tuning in.
Everything about you, essentially. Yes. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. And today we're actually going to be talking about Glowforge for weddings, which is obviously a timely and relevant topic right now. Biggest wedding season ever, I hear, for this year.
Right?
So,
it's pretty, I mean, I know several friends who are getting married this year. It's going to be expensive for me to travel around.
Right?
A lot of my friends are still back at home in the UK. So.
And everyone's had longer to save up.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So, okay.
I can't say I've curbed my spending very much, but that's a different story. I'd also be interested to know if any of you out there have joined us for another one of these streams. Is this your first one? Have you been to all 3 or 4 or 5 of them that we've done so far? And what do you love about them? What do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of? And any feedback you have really helps us change the content of these so we're getting you what you want to see. After this stream, if you don't get a chance to put your comments in the chat, these are going to be on YouTube, so you can leave a comment after the video with some suggestions. And in chat as well, we're going to aim to read through everything and answer as many questions that everybody has. But we're going to have, I think, some assistance.
Yes,
in
Ellen
chat
is there now.
Wonderful. So if we don't get to answer it on air, hopefully someone in chat will get to answer it for you. And worst case, let's say we're swamped. No idea how busy we are right now, but if we don't get to your question in time, we'll give you some solutions to be able to contact one of us after the fact so we can have a conversation.
Absolutely. Not a lot of people know this, but we do offer one-on-one demos or calls with a Glowforge expert. So if you think that you might have a question about what you want to use Glowforge for that's maybe like too complex to explain in text or whatnot, you could get in touch with our team of experts just by emailing hello@glowforge.com. They'd be happy to speak with you. So
wonderful.
All right. I'm seeing who is chiming in.
Let's take a look, see how many we have in chat right now.
Yeah. Oh, we've got Music Chick Art is looking for some design, how to design with Glowforge. So we'll definitely dive into that in 100%. A moment. We have a print. And then, we've got about 40 watching.
Excellent.
Fantastic. On Facebook at least. Cool.
Wonderful.
Well, like I mentioned, today we're going to talk all about Glowforge for weddings, which I think might be kind of like the easiest theme to do. I hopped on Instagram this morning and it seemed like it was about half the content on it. And it might be because it's June and like I said, it's the beginning of the biggest wedding season ever. But I think weddings are just an example of a time when you want everything to be custom and special. You're willing to go that extra mile, whether it's like the gift that you're giving someone that you're bringing to a wedding shower or a bachelorette party or what have you, or a wedding itself, or just like designing your own wedding. There's like so many ways to go with it.
Right. And if you are, if you're a savvy person when it comes to money, you know how expensive weddings can be. Like both me and Bailey have, we've been through it. We've felt the pressure from those finances. But with Glowforge, if you apply some of those ideas you have, a little bit of creativity and play with some materials, you can basically create all of that stuff yourself right at home for a fraction of the price that you'd be spending when you hire somebody else to do it for you.
And then everyone is also extra super impressed with your wedding decor.
They'll be taking it home with them. Yeah, just watch out. They'll be sneaking it into their
But
dresses.
if you're not getting married anytime soon, or you're already married, of course, all of these tips like apply to just events in general.
That's it.
And I think weddings could be kind of the biggest and like fastest business opportunity for a new Glowforge owner right now. Like if I was just getting a Glowforge and wanting to spin up, I'm still in some of those Facebook like marketplace buy and sells from when I was planning my own wedding several years ago. And I see, all the I need this and that, custom made, I want this and that, bouquets and stuff. And so, there's a demand for so much custom made stuff. So that's what I would do if I was getting Glowforge right now. You'll be busy this summer.
100%, yeah.
Shall we get started on a print?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're a few minutes in.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. So for those of you out there who already are Glowforge owners, bear with us. I'm going to go through this process just so those prospective Glowforge owners out there understand how all of this works. We're going to print today a table number or a table setting that we could use for a wedding, but could be for a reunion party, you know, when everyone starts getting back together. And you could apply those same techniques for a kid's party at the end of the year when we reach winter time, and some people might be celebrating Christmas, for example, things like that. It all applies. So I'm going to jump right in here and show you my screen. Perfect. I can see you have it on screen there. Now, what we're looking at right now are 3 designs that we have available. And this was just me and Bailey playing around with some ideas that you could use for your wedding. We've got a standalone table design here. We have this one, which has a little stick attached, which you could put into a bouquet of flowers or a table setting or something like that.
Mason jar.
Exactly, yeah, very trendy. Is that cool? We probably shouldn't say very trendy. We're dating ourselves, aren't we? I promise, we're cool. We really are. And then this final one you can see has got a little stand. So this can actually stand up on the table, unsupported, on top of a plate or something like that. Which one do you want to print today, Bailey? Any preference?
I like the stick one.
This one?
Yeah.
I like it too.
Yeah,
Great.
why not?
Excellent. All right. So back on my screen, I'm going to show you something super cool and really simple. If we have a design like this that we've created and we only want to print one of them, all we have to do is select the bits that we don't want and move them off to the side. And Glowforge isn't going to print those pieces. Alternatively, if you wanted to, we could select that piece, hit delete, get rid of it, and we don't have to print it there either. I'm going to undo that, stick it to the side, and work from here. Now, what we're looking at on my screen right now is, I just want to check. Mike, can they see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, wonderful. Is our design on a black square? And that black square is actually the inside of our Glowforge. It's what Glowforge is seeing. And watch this. Because if I open this lid right now and then stick in this piece of material, and right now we're going to choose a piece of maple proof grade plywood. We'll talk more about proof grade in a little bit, but it is our range of materials that we developed for Glowforge to provide the best experience. Just throw it in there, close the lid, nothing special that you have to do there at all. And if we switch back to my screen, what we'll see in just a moment is that piece of material appear on that black square, just like that. And this feature we call live preview. Yeah, ta-da, right?
I love that.
I love it. And the key thing to this is we are working on top of what we're going to print. So if I want this design to print right here, I put it here. If I want it to print over here, I put it here. And the value here comes not just when you're printing on a piece of proof grade material like this, but when you're printing on something like, like this. Now this here is a leather purse that somebody I think has bought online and then customized. This is from one of our customers. If you want to check out their work, they are rustic bloom leather, and I believe they probably sell these things on Etsy.
It's a good bridesmaid gift.
Right, well exactly. But you can imagine using this feature live preview, you put the purse in the Glowforge, and then you can see exactly where this design is going to print. There's no setup, complex, there's no calculations you have to do, no math, no jigs. You just drag it into place, work super visually, and this is where it's going to print.
And you're also able to make the most of your material, because right now we're printing one table number, but likely you would be printing multiple table numbers for multiple tables, of course. And so you could actually copy and paste that. You would probably, for table numbers, have uploaded different designs that say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. But you can move it around. So you can make them smaller or bigger.
That's it. We can rotate them if we want to make them sideways. We can copy and paste. Let's say you were doing the same thing, maybe lots of the little stand pieces to join these together. These don't fit together very well like this, but if I spin this one around, I can then get them much more closely fitted like that. So like Bailey said, you can see how efficiently you can work with that material.
And then, I remember when I was printing things for my wedding, probably like 2 months before my wedding, I got really, really busy, and I was spending like weekend nights, with the Glowforge running for several hours at a time and stuff. And I'd have a full sheet of proof grade in, and then I would do something like that. But then even in the spaces in between, I was doing smaller things. Using the whole sheet. You can use it so efficiently. It's awesome.
It's super, super cool. Now I'm going to show you one other thing before we kick this print off here too, and that is within our workspace here on the left-hand side, we have what we call print steps. And these basically represent the different operations that Glowforge can do. Now Glowforge, of course, can cut. It can cut through a piece of material like a pair of scissors. It can also score. And that, for me, I describe it like using a pen. It's a single, fine line, very highly detailed, just like drawing on the surface. Doesn't go all the way through, just a mark on the surface.
You might do that if you want something to then bend later. Like if you're doing
That's
cardstock,
true.
you might do a score so that you have a perfect middle way to bend the card.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, make a crease or something like that. And I mean, think about weddings, paper goods, invitations, cards, all that kind of stuff. Perfect with Glowforge. And then we have engraves, and engraves are a bit like shading with charcoal or a pencil. We're going line by line, creating different colors on the surface of the material, depending on how much power we apply. And so looking at my screen here, I've got 3 steps. Now, one of them is an engrave, which you can see as I hover over is the text that says the guest's name. This is Suzanne. Then I have this option here, which is going to be our cut line that goes all the way around the outside. And then I have this one, which right now is set to be a cut, but I actually want this to be a score. You can see right now, if I was to cut through this, it's actually going to separate the design into multiple pieces, which I don't want. And it's super easy to change that. I'm going to click into it, hit score, and then move this one like this. And my design is ready to go in just a couple of clicks. Now, once that's all set up and we're happy with the placement, all we have to do is hit print. So I'm going to click that right now, and we're going to let Glowforge take care of the rest.
The phone.
Yeah, there we go. We have a handheld phone here, so we can show you exactly what's happening inside the Glowforge right now.
Do you want to walk around the front?
Yeah, I can do that.
I think I'm too tied in.
That's all right. Where's my lens? Here we go. All right, so what's happening right now is Glowforge is actually taking a reading of the height of this material. Now, you don't have to think about this at all, but just for your information, it needs to know how thick this is very precisely so it can cut super efficiently. And with a typical laser, you'd have to do all of that stuff yourself. It's a very manual process, prone to human error, all that kind of stuff. We avoided all of that by using computers and cameras to do it all for you, so you don't have to think about it. And once that happens, our screen shows us exactly how long our print's going to take.
3 minutes and 25 seconds in this
Perfect.
case. Yep.
Nice and quick. And then we have a single button on the Glowforge right there. So, Bailey, if you want to do the honors.
There we go. Got my nails done just for this.
It was worth it. All right, so let me position this here so we can see. Now, we're starting off with the engrave. So we're working line by line, working our way up the material, and you can see how that's starting to appear. I mean, Bailey and I have both been here for almost 6 years, but we can stand here for 30 minutes at a time easily just watching this stuff come to life because it's so incredible. It's like watching a campfire, right? There is nothing touching this material apart from laser light. It really is incredible. And here we can see we're about halfway through. It's pretty quick. So you can imagine even if you had 100 guests coming to your wedding, at a few minutes each, once we pack these onto the sheet, you're probably only using a few sheets of proof grade.
Right, exactly.
And a few hours of your time. And of course, while this is happening in the background, you can be working on that gift list or picking your honeymoon destination or whatever it might be while Glowforge takes care of all of this work.
There's
for you,
lots to do, of course. I see from JC Productions here on YouTube chatting, they say, you're absolutely right. I'm a designer and I work with a wedding person here in Florida, and she makes so many different things on her Glowforge, and she has 9 weddings on the books right now.
Oh, that's amazing. 9? I don't envy that person.
Yeah. And it's only June. Did you know that October last year was the biggest wedding month? So like peak wedding, or October 2019, I don't know about for 2020, but peak wedding season is actually moved forward into the fall. So if you think you've missed it, you haven't. Get on that. People get married all year round also.
That's incredible. What we're looking at here, by the way, for those of you still watching the screen, is a cut. This is how fast that can go through 1/8-inch thick plywood. And this is literally going through that material in one pass. Oh, I'm going to run out of screen real estate in a second. But this is releasing that design from the material, which is pretty transformational the first time you experience it. We're going to pick this up, and this will have been cut out, and it'll be ready to go.
This is such a great print to show.
It's so cool, right?
I love it. Yeah, that's so awesome. And we'll start talking about materials in just a moment, but what we're using right now, just so that you know, is a medium maple proof grade plywood. So the reason that we didn't have to futz with any settings is that sticker on our piece of material told the Glowforge exactly what we were using, so it auto sets the speed, the power, and then as you can see, that engrave is perfectly dialed in. Oh, that's so cool.
It's so cool to watch, isn't it? Yeah, honestly.
I can't even talk. I'm losing
my this is the thing. If me and Bailey go quiet on you for a second, it's because we got carried away. All right, to avoid that, shall we show them some prints?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this would be a good thing to take a look at.
We pulled up a whole bunch of different wedding things so a few things that I just happen to have here. Well, let's do these ones first, actually.
Okay, all right.
So do you want to do like a view of the table and I'll talk through them?
Absolutely.
So here's like an engraved cutting board. These are awesome to like bring as a wedding gift, and imagine giving this with maybe like a bottle of wine or champagne and like a gift card to dinner, something lovely, or like a gift card to like HelloFresh, like a cooking theme.
That could be nice.
Love
Yeah,
it.
I love that idea.
Here is a cake topper, June and Mark. And you could do, you know, silhouettes. I had like a Princess Bride silhouette as my cake topper. Yep. Here's little drink stirrers, or gosh, you could do lots of things with those. Those could go in cupcakes. They could go in little bags of popcorn, what have you.
Yeah.
Just anything to make, if you've got, you know, a specific motif or look for your wedding, you can bring that theme through.
This is actually a napkin ring right here.
Oh, exactly.
And this is acrylic, which is a shiny plastic material. And then this on the outside is a piece of wood. It's veneer, which is a proof grade material we sell. Super thin, like real wood, and self-adhesive on the back. So it's really flexible. We can wrap it around things like this to create these cool effects and designs.
You could probably even do that with leather too.
That's a great idea.
This is not necessarily a wedding thing, but we just wanted to show you paper cut and the detail that you might get. So if you're thinking about doing really elegant upscale wedding invites or thank you cards or what have you, I mean, this is literally a piece of printer paper.
You can see how delicate that is.
Which that's incredible. Just to think for a moment that we just saw the Glowforge cutting through plywood,
right?
And then also it can cut through printer paper with that accuracy.
That versatility is really incredible.
This just finished. Let's pull this out.
Oh yeah. So let me get around the front so we can see. Bailey can do the big reveal.
Yes. It's always a little.
Look. There we go. So that's the fun bit right there. You see that? Look at that. And that came right out. It is not hot to touch, so you can pull it out as soon as the Glowforge is finished.
Yeah. So you'll notice like a little bit of singy bits around the sides. That's just normal for using a laser printer or a laser cutter like this. So that is actually why we have our proof grade material. See if I can use it with my nubby little fingernails.
There we go. Yeah, that's perfect. That looks great.
It peels off, and so you can see it's revealing the gorgeous maple underneath. And it's we actually use a furniture grade finish on these. So no finishing needed at all, just ready, looks gorgeous. You could paint or add other details, gold leaf, fill in the engrave with a color. You could get really, really fancy with finishing steps, but we love using proof grade materials around here because of this masking. I mean, it really makes all the difference in the finishing. And
you can see like the before and after there, how clean that print result is after that paper's peeled. It makes a huge difference.
So awesome. And you don't have to do it all by hand. Also, a really nice trick is to use like that really super sticky Gorilla Tape.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that just peels off like you're waxing something.
Let's show off some of my wedding stuff, which I brought. So, okay. I feel like this, I can just do it to the main camera too. I feel like this look is really on trend still. This just clear acrylic, and then this is actually a tip. You engrave on the back and do it backwards so that it's still completely smooth on the front, and it matches everything. I have some photos to show you later, and there's a menu that they did with clear acrylic that's just gorgeous. But it just looks really, first of all, it doesn't break. You don't have to worry about that. Really durable, easy to, much better than hauling glass around at a wedding.
100%, yeah, definitely. So
that's really nice. And you could also do things like backlight it and do all sorts of cool effects with it.
That's a nice idea.
Loved that. And I did lots of signs like that. I think my table signs were those too. Oh,
Here's
and then So this is an example of we bought just the sign on, I think, Amazon or something like that, and then added this dimensional of the Boyntons established 2019 rather than painting or just doing stencil work or something.
Yeah.
I think that's been like the evolution of signs. That's what everybody wants now.
Three-dimensionality.
Yes, and now layered too. Yep. Folks are getting wild with it. Like if I was to do this now I'm looking at it like, should I add some? No, I can't. I'm using my wedding. It's done. But
you could renew your vows maybe and have an excuse.
And then this one was my, I did little mini boards. So these sat on my table next to the food. We had like a pizza buffet for dinner, and then this was on the dessert table. And so we had gotten some of our desserts from like local vendors, and I wanted to show that off, so this says pink champagne cake from McGavin's Bakery, which they're famous for their champagne cake, right?
Delicious.
Or like Nick was at my wedding, so can attest. Donuts from Sly's Bakery, so that kind of stuff. And people just love anything to make the experience of coming to your wedding feel like custom and local. Like, gosh, I remember I went to a wedding on Cape Cod a couple years ago, and when we got to our hotel room, they had little gift bags for us that had some local chocolates, like a local drink or something like that. It was so cool and special. It felt so taken care of. And think of the custom elements you could add to that, like a little hang tag.
Right, like this one behind you, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, here's...
It's like we planned that segue. That really wasn't planned, actually. I just noticed it.
Here's, hang tags that could go on for your wedding day outfit, the bridesmaid. Oh, and just engraving the wooden
Oh, the hanger itself.
Hanger itself.
Great
let's
idea.
bring up some of those photos on this. If you bring up that slide deck.
Yeah, let me just untangle myself.
And I'm going to check chat as well.
Yeah, don't forget, if anybody has any questions, comments, or ideas, things you'd like to see, throw them in the chat, let us know, and we can hopefully get
Tyler's requesting gold proof grade acrylic, right? I would like that too.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, mirrored as well. That would be super fun.
Gorgeous. All right, so if we can go over to these photos now. Okay, so this first one is a cool example of using pass-through, I believe, which we can talk about in a moment, but pass-through allows you to use Glowforge Pro to create really long, sorry, I haven't had enough coffee this morning, apparently I'm struggling here, to create really long or huge things. So big signs like this as we still do. I'm assuming this is for like a vow renewal, which is really sweet, but I love that they've hung these large letters, which I think the word still at least is bigger than the bed of the Glowforge. It looks like it from this photo.
Like it, yeah.
So
and those shadows, that effect of the shadows against the wall is super cool as well, right?
Yes.
That's really nice. If you imagine being a wedding photographer, having stuff like this in the background that you can get creative and playful with for those images, super cool, really inspiring.
So this is, I thought this was cool. This is something using Glowforge's trace feature where they obviously took handwritten notes from wedding guests and like well wishes for the couple and then engraved them on, maybe this is some kind of like plaque to hang on the wall or even like a table centerpiece sort of thing. Just love that. So trace is where, you can take handwriting or special artifacts or what have you, put them in the bed of the Glowforge, and so here's an example that we've done one here. This is a drawing on, the shape of this guitar body, and then we used trace to engrave that illustration onto the guitar to make a really custom. And you might be confused, the guitar came in a kit, so just the body went into the Glowforge. It didn't have the handle on it and everything. So
this was an automated thing. It's a feature built into Glowforge. You put your drawing inside, the camera in the lid detects what's in there, it creates a printable version, you drag and drop in the software just like you saw us do, and then print it. That's
There's so many special documents that come out of a wedding ceremony. Like I was just having to dig my marriage certificate out the other day, and like you could in theory do something sweet with that because it's really special. Like my mom and dad signed it, I think, or maybe whoever were the witnesses, special people, whoever was there.
Those people.
I'm
those
sure
folks.
I know them. But it reminds me of a coworker we have who had a dance card from when her grandparents had bet, in the 40s, and she'd put the dance card in the Glowforge, and it was able to capture some of the writing, and she made it into like a tree ornament or something like that. And so sweet.
It's so much nicer than just typing it out, right?
Okay, back to the photos.
Oh, this is a great example,
actually. Oh, perfect. Okay, so yes, s'more lovin'. Oh, love that. I love s'mores at a wedding, first of all. But yes, you can engrave on food with Glowforge. So really cool custom s'mores there. And then also like maybe paint. I can't tell if that's engraved or painted or engraved and then painted.
I think it might be a combination, kind of like this sign here. What somebody has done is engraved into the acrylic surface here and filled it in with gold, and then painted the back of it with gray.
So it's like a layered effect.
Yeah, I'm going to try and spin it there. I can't tell whether you can see this very well,
here,
but
let's look at it. Oop.
There's a ton of detail and just a really high quality finish, which, I don't want to undermine the work that goes into this, but it's really quite simple to do. It's super effective.
Let's get this up here. Can we get a close up on the phone, Mike?
Yeah, it looks like they can see it right now.
Perfect.
Isn't that rad?
So see.
Just 2 pieces of acrylic, a couple of bits of string, splash of paint. The beauty is in the idea, really, but Glowforge really allows you to execute on it very quickly and very easily.
That look. Really I'm going to give you another look at this table here because there's so much fun stuff down on it. Again, talking materials, if you don't use proof grade materials, you can pick up materials from the store, or from Amazon or from eBay or whatever.
These are fun.
These are like cocktail recipes on coasters, and these are slate. Here's a huge giant slate coaster. Here's some acrylic, like we said, leather, paper.
There's some glass just over there as well. People love glass, You can imagine, let's think if you're preparing like a groomsman gift or something like that. I know commemorative whiskey bottles and things like that are very popular. You could take that bottle, assuming it wasn't any deeper than 2 inches, stick it into the Glowforge, and then add something special to it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really super cool.
I love that. All right, back to photos. Oh, this is a really cool custom bar that someone made.
That's nice.
Drink up, y'all. And it looks like they made little leather hang tags for the different whatever drinks they have on tap. Love that. Here's kind of what I was talking about before with making custom dress hangers for the bridal party. The vows. So this just looks like, I wonder what it's engraved on. Is it paper, do you think? Is it cardstock?
That's a good question. Could be either, right?
Yeah, but I love that.
It's really nice.
Very special. These are nice. I mean, it's nice to have these kind of little accessories. Like, it might seem silly to have a jewelry tray. Like, I don't know if you use a jewelry tray in your everyday life, but you use them in these beautiful wedding photos, and then you're glad that you have it. I mean, might be the only photo you have of like a gift, a groom's gift, or your rings when they're off your hand. This is lovely, just gorgeous paper cut silhouette.
Nice mix of materials there too, which is super cool.
Really nice.
Oh, that's my birthday too. Not 2008.
Wow.
Yeah, looking rough for that age.
Looking rough. And here's a cake topper. There's that gold acrylic that someone was asking about. I see why you want that gold acrylic. I mean, an acrylic, it's true, comes in all sorts of gorgeous varieties, like the mirrored. I've seen it with different sorts of glitter in it, or kind of like what's that, like
tortoise shell?
Yep. I did a glasses
I knew exactly. Yeah, it's a glasses where I understood that.
And then some leather.
Oh, those
flasks.
are neat. Yeah, and these are great because you can buy those in bulk online relatively inexpensively, and as soon as you put them in the Glowforge and add that embellishment, they're just the value
and
goes
I mean,
up.
That's the key for starting a business with Glowforge, right? Is finding an item that you can either print quickly and efficiently with an inexpensive material and customize so that it has high value to the buyer, and or finding something that you can customize that you can buy in bulk, like blanks, like flasks or cutting boards, those kind of things. Back to the photos, this last one, I think this is like they must have had, Polaroid, and then they've got, maybe this is Polaroids of the couple, but then they've just displayed them as table markers or something like that. Anyway, so custom, I just love it. Oh, and here's that frosted acrylic menu that I mentioned before. So imagine sitting down. I know. I mean, I don't think I've been to a dinner that fancy.
Right.
That looks gorgeous. And then folks are just so talented at staging their photos. Like, what you can tell, I actually just grabbed these all off of Instagram. They were #Glowforge. And so they're from different Glowforge owners that are sharing on Instagram. And you can tell some of these are staged so beautifully because these are folks that are running businesses revolving around weddings. And the beautiful photos are a big part of that.
It makes a difference. Yeah, it really does.
All right. That's it for those photos.
Now, we talked a bit about business there. For those of you who are interested in pursuing something like that, on Tuesday, Bailey did a super fun Q&A with a customer called Daryl.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is available on YouTube.
Yeah.
Is that right? Wonderful. And Daryl
And actually, I think if you just scroll down on Facebook as well. If you're
perfect.
on Facebook right now.
Excellent. Daryl runs a very successful business based around his Glowforge, and he gave us some super fun tips and tricks that he's used to make his business more successful.
Yeah.
So after this, well worth checking that one out.
Yeah, so we do have 3 different models of the Glowforge, and folks often are decision paralyzed by which one is right for them. So we have the Pro, the Plus, and the Basic. So the Pro is our top of the line. It's our most popular, especially for business.
Yeah, that is true. And that's mostly due to that pass-through slot. I can't show you right now on this model because this is a Plus, but essentially pass-through allows you to feed material through the front of the Glowforge right here, all the way through the bed and out the back. And that means you can create really big things like maybe if you could grab that sign just there, Bailey.
Maybe.
I
think so.
That was great. Very gracefully done.
Thank you.
But things like this. And this we created as a business for a photo shoot, but you can imagine something like this for a wedding too, right? This large piece of material was fed through the machine.
And so this bottom was cut for
the whole thing, actually. Yeah, the outline, the bottom, this cut out right here. You can see Bailey staring through like that. But the concept or the premise behind pass-through is you draw your design at real size. You send it to Glowforge, and Glowforge prints as much as it can within the space within the bed. Then you slide the material through by a little bit more. The cameras inside the machine take a look at what's already been printed, figure out where to carry on, and does the next bit. And you basically work in stages like that, pushing the material through the bed until your print is finished. So it's very simple, very impactful, and allows you to create those really giant prints.
I just saw a quick question someone was asking before we go into Glowforge Plus about engraving photos. So I just wanted to show you this photo real quick. So this was a color photo, I think a stock photo or something,
I think it was, yeah.
And then we just uploaded it to Glowforge, and we engraved it on a piece of plywood. And I mean, isn't that gorgeous? Can you imagine what you could do with your wedding photos?
Right.
So I think that's something that people think might be like an advanced Glowforge skill, but it's certainly not.
Yeah.
It is important that you choose a photo that has some contrast, of course, and doesn't have anything like too super busy in it. I do think it's great for like faces and more like close-ups and stuff like that, not necessarily a landscape or what have you, but I have really seen folks do amazing things with photos. So.
Oh yeah, if you search for laser engraved photos online, you'll be able to find tons of examples, and they're super impactful.
And
they
so
really are.
Beyond the pass-through slot, I mean, that's the main difference of the Pro. It also has some advanced cooling and is faster.
That's true. Yeah, again, really great for business if you're interested in that.
So it can keep printing continuously, and also the number of minutes it actually takes to complete the print is a little bit less than with the Plus and the Basic. But then otherwise, the units, they have the same footprint, so it looks just as this big and everything, and you can do all of the same capabilities. Like, you would still be able to do this photo engrave with any of the units. Everything that you see here, you'd be able to make, with the exception of anything that requires pass-through. If you want to make giant things with the Glowforge Basic or the Plus, you can. You just have to get a little bit more creative about joints.
Yes.
Where things
not
fit
impossible,
together.
just a little bit more difficult. But you know, that's what I used to use when I first joined Glowforge before the pass-through feature was ready. I managed. I'm sure you can too. But I am so glad that the Glowforge Pro is here now. Not this one, of course, but the pass-through slot, because it allows me to create those huge visions that we have here. I think another differentiation that might be important to point out too is with the Glowforge Plus and the Glowforge Pro, you have a double warranty versus the Glowforge Basic. So you have a little bit extra peace of mind there when you're running this thing day in, day out to support whatever you might be printing.
Someone is asking if we could engrave photos on acrylic.
So you can. That is true. Personally, I don't think they work particularly well on acrylic. Clear acrylic sometimes.
With a certain sort of photo. It depends what the image is, I would say.
Yeah. So not impossible. Worth some experimentation just to see. As a tip, if someone out there is a Glowforge owner and wants to try, I find inverting the image is best. With wood, when you engrave it, it tends to get darker. With acrylic, it gets lighter. So you kind of have to flip the image to make it appear.
So you don't lose the details. I see.
Yeah. Otherwise, it looks like a bizarre negative of the image. So anyway, worth a try, but I prefer wood personally. I think someone was asking about design software earlier on too, and I don't think we got to that.
No.
So apologies if that was you out there. But when it comes to designing for Glowforge, if you can save a PDF from a piece of software that you already know, and that might be Microsoft PowerPoint, it might be Google Drawings or Google Slides. If you are used to graphic software like Illustrator and Photoshop, you can use those too.
Not me. I stick to super easy things. I like Canva a lot. I like programs like the Noun Project that help you find kind of like clip art sort of things that you can engrave to customize anything. That's like on my little board here. I think this is all designed in Canva. I just have like a $10 a month membership or what have you, and then little donuts and champagne graphics, popcorn.
Yeah, right?
So cute.
Super, super cool. I personally am an Illustrator fan, so that does open up some more possibilities and capabilities when it comes to complex stuff in joinery, but don't let that stop you. Don't let that intimidate you. If you can save a PDF, you can print on Glowforge. And one really nice thing about the software that runs Glowforge, well, two things. One, it's web-based, so it doesn't matter if you're on a Mac or a PC. You just log into the internet browser at app.glowforge.com, and you will be running on the latest version of the software at that moment.
Yes.
And secondly, the second point has absolutely left my brain, which oh, no, I remember it. Secondly, the software itself is a really good compositing tool. And by that, I mean, you can grab some fonts from over here and bring them in, an image from over here and bring it in, maybe another design element from the Glowforge catalog and bring that in, and in the software, arrange it all to create your finished design. So you don't have to be able to do everything that you want to achieve in one piece of software. You can dip into wherever you have expertise and bring it all together within the Glowforge app.
Yeah, and Daryl, that we were mentioning earlier, Daryl is a customer that we have who, he actually only got his Glowforge last year in 2020, and he paid it off in about 2.5 weeks, which might be a record.
That's impressive.
And one of the ways that he did is that he actually designs and sells the designs that you will then print on your Glowforge. So he helps others create businesses, and he tests like the popularity of the design in his own local marketplace, which is super cool. But one of his biggest tips for folks who feel intimidated about getting a Glowforge because of their, design capabilities or lack thereof, is just that you don't need to be a designer. There's tons of stuff available online, either for free or for purchase, depending on what you want to do. And some folks actually think that they can't do it, and then they, like Marissa, another customer I did a Q&A with recently, she wasn't a designer at all, and now she's like a whiz on Illustrator. She just was able, it just really clicked for her, once she got the Glowforge. So I think don't let that trip you up, absolutely, especially for something like weddings or event planning. Like that's a matter of finding your favorite templates and then making those in mass.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm just seeing if there's any more questions coming in. So Tammy was asking what the biggest size item you can make without joints on the Pro. So basically the bed size difference. So it's basically the size of a piece of proof grade.
Yeah, something like this.
That's what will fit in the basic and the plus.
This is about 12 by 20 inches, just to give you a reference there. So it's, pretty sizable. Especially if you're creating signage or something like that, if you fit one letter onto each of these sheets, the finished result is going to be really big.
Yeah, and then with the Pro, you've got the 20-inch width and then the unlimited length.
Infinite, essentially.
Infinite. We've seen a 50-foot print.
Yeah, that sidewalk print.
Where did someone get, what kind of material? Was it wood?
I think it was some kind of paper product, but I still don't know where they got a 50-foot roll of that stuff from.
That's incredible.
It's on the community.glowforge.com forum if anybody wants to look that one up.
All right, well, it looks like it's about time to go. I'm just seeing if there's any last questions. Y'all are chatting away.
If anybody has anything else, leave it in the chat. Oh, and of course, we're going to try and do these more regularly now. So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. You can click the notification bell if you're interested in being notified. And more of these are going to pop up, hopefully with topics and specialties that you're interested in. And again, if you didn't join us right at the beginning and you missed our little intro, we would love any feedback you have about these shows. Leave them in the comments right now or after the video is finished and it's available on YouTube.
Even if this isn't live, we'll still see this later if you're watching this in 2 hours from now or whatnot.
And topic ideas too. If you have anything you want us to lean into, whether that's materials or interesting fun prints or pushing the boundaries or anything else, software maybe, let us know. And if we have enough interest, we can do a special show.
That would be fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us today. This was really fun.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
All right, have a good one.
Take care. Bye-bye.